It is Pleiadian day, as it is the obviously evening before Somain. We're going to do the Pleiadian Oracle cards today. Just give me a minute while I'm finding this video and getting it set up and shared out. If you're just finding me, take a second to go ahead and say hi, connect with the energies, especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. And just give me a minute while I'm sharing this video out. So take a minute also to hit that share button, especially if you're trying to get cards and things like that. No kitty. So today's bringing some beautiful vibes, and I've been learning a lot about some of our modern holidays and where they come from. Today is Pleiadian day. Our moon is actually going to be really, really close to the Pleiades. We'll talk about that in 1 minute. So take a second to hit that share button. I'll let you guys share this out so we can get started. All right, so today our moon is really, really close to the Pleiades. If you have any visibility and you're able to see the moon, make sure that you check it out. And then our holiday, our modern day Halloween, of course, coincides with this. The veil goes really, really thin. But first, of course, we're in this Pleiadian gateway, which is amazing for the activations and energies that are coming in. When we deal with Pleiadian energies, they are here to wake us up and help us to remember our galactic origins and where we come from. They're helping with our spiritual awakening. And of course, they help us to clear things like karma and karmic imprints. They help us with emotional healing and kind of releasing and letting go of whatever it is that we're working on or whatever it is that's holding us back. I always love Pleiadian energies. They bring a little bit of a softer galactic vibe too when we're dealing with different galactic energies. And of course, when they're dealing with the moon, right? It helps to kind of filter these energies in a frequency that we can kind of handle it too. So beautiful energies coming in. And then of course the veil is really, really thin right now. This helps us to better connect with the spiritual or our ancestors or our loved ones on the other side, of course. But we're going to do just really fast this Pleiadian Oracle cards today and just kind of see what is going on. Make sure you have shared this out. Make sure you're checking out my website. I have a ton of Pleiadian activations and healings going on for today. And of course I have a bunch of stuff up tomorrow for Somain and the Witch's New Year. You can do any of that stuff anytime, anyways, in my shop. Hello. I am an energy healer. I have a ton of healings, clearings, and activations on there. I teach tons of classes on my website too, like Reiki and Sikhem. And of course, my favorite, I do readings under readings and coaching. So if you need me, just go ahead and book me on there. Make sure you're checking out all the awesome stuff I do have up for the next couple of days on there. Like I said, you can do any of that stuff anyways. Make sure that you've left a comment and hit the share button if you're trying to get cards. If you're able to be a supporter or send stars or PayPal donations, please do. It helps to keep this page going. Awesome way you can give something back if you're getting something out of this content. So if you're sending stars, I'm going to try to give you a psychic shout out. All right, let's get started. So amazing energies. If you are a starseed, you're going to be resonating more strongly with these energies. You're going to be feeling them. Okay, so, and like I said, make sure you've left a comment. We'll get started. All right, I see Etherica Riviera. Rooted light. I love it. Let's look at, and I want to look at, especially even before I was doing this, I was getting the messages. I want to look at the artwork on these cards a little bit extra today. And this is exactly how it is, of kind of like this source energy spiraling in. And it is our job. If you're living on planet Earth during this time, it is our job to, we'll say, adapt and hold this higher frequency energy. We're holding more and more light, especially as you're releasing. And this is a root chakra card, but especially as you're releasing the many layers of dense energy that we've been holding on to. And I was saying, and I'm going to say it again on an earlier video that I just did, no two people's journeys are the same. Literally, what you're healing from is everything you've been through in your past experiences, and everyone's a little bit different as to what that might be, and the core wounds and things that have been left behind from some of the things that we've kind of had play out. Now we're healing from a lot of stuff, starting with family stuff. When we deal with the root chakra, I always like to think of it as a lot to do with our core wounds, our family stuff, and even our ancestral things that we've picked up along the way. So I'll just give you a good example. You could be someone that really struggles with something that could go many generations back, and that you've picked up a lot of things that have been passed down through your family of origin or your bloodline that you're healing too. When we really clear out our root chakra, it helps us so much to do what we all want to do, which is to embody this in the physical. We want to bring through this 5D blueprint. Okay, we've done the 3D. I always kind of compare the 3D of like a practice simulation. It's literally like those people going into space, or you're going to be a pilot. They're like, okay, you got to practice first. The 3D is literally like a practice simulation. You have a spiritual awakening, and at that point, you're ready to create. You're ready to manifest. And this is why many of our abilities don't begin to fully materialize or coming online till that point. Protection. Okay, but anyways, so we want to bring this down. You have such a powerful blueprint to bring down into the physical, and I think that's all that we all want, right? Is to really embody that, bring it into the physical, live your dream life. Now, the biggest thing blocking us is karma that we have to clear and things that go to the root chakra. Did you know that most of the cycles that you've played out karmically were not even your own? A lot of them come to deeper patterns that we picked up in our family and childhood and things like that we're kind of clearing out. The more that you clear out your chakras, the more that you're going to be able to embody this and hold that higher frequency that is required in the physical. So for you, a really good root chakra clearing will help. That's one of my favorite things on my site too, is chakra clearing work. I love it. Whether you're being guided to like, clear out your chakras or activate them more, this is so required to be able to hold more of that light in our actual chakra system as well too. So some type of root chakra work or root chakra clearing will really, really benefit you. Okay, we're going to do David Curtin, portholes, and I love this because this is today's energy, and I love it because it's always like this. It's different, of course, yearly, but we're going through this Pleiadian porthole, which is really the main gateway because it really kicks it off. So today I'm a day early, right? Today kind of kicks off tomorrow's energy with Samhain fully, but we're already in those energies, and we want to be tapping into these portholes and these gateways. Today is a powerful Pleiadian porthole for healing and activations. Tomorrow, obviously, is that Samhain gateway, and it is just really, really powerful for connecting with the spiritual. Especially, I love to use it to connect with loved ones in spirit that you're missing, ancestors, or even the other side. We have different, energies and gateways that we're learning how to navigate. So you might feel that you have loved ones coming through strongly, ancestors coming in strongly, and some of our ancestors we may have never met even, but they are here, they're supporting you, and they're cheering you on, and they're helping you with your journey. So powerful gateway. You guys might be feeling all of the energies coming in. They've been quite high for a few days now. Doesn't surprise me as we're navigating Samhain and things like that. So you might be kind of feeling that on the physical level. Some of you guys might be kind of feeling we're actually going into a little bit of a crash, I call it. We were real high in the K5s the past couple of days, and then we're dropping to a K4 and so on the next couple of days. But you might be like feeling that. And so sometimes what we're feeling is all of the upgrades that are happening and how we're kind of feeling that on the physical level. It just kind of depends. But you definitely want to be working with today's porthole energies. Best way to work with the energies, stop by my website, get an activation, really put those manifestations out there. That's what I'm all about, if you know me, right? Healing and manifesting with these energies, but you can use them in different ways, but that's the best way to work with them. Okay, let's do Shayna. Hello, I'm doing my butterfly thing. Okay, Shayna, galactic cord. I love this because sometimes I like to think of it as our galactic center, galactic cord. We're receiving a lot of different energies. And so when I was like a little kid and I was taught about the solar system, I'm like picturing the little solar system thing coming through. We were taught like this model of our solar system. But actually when it comes to our sun, and I'll try to explain this the best I can. We have our sun, and then behind it we have Sirius, our spiritual sun, right? And we like to think of that. So yes, these are star systems, but they're more complex. And then of course we have our central sun, where a lot of these energies are kind of being streamed through. So our sun acts as a porthole or a gateway for a lot of the energies that we're receiving. I feel we're getting blasted with a lot of galactic energies through our sun too. So we are, as a planet, traveling through areas of space that we haven't been to for a really long time. We can look at previous cycles on the planet and see that sometimes when we go into these higher frequency energies, we've never done it in our lifetime, but we can see on a planetary level that sometimes it can create a lot of things being shaken up on the planet. We'll just leave it at that, right? But we're receiving a lot of high frequency energies, and then most of the effect is like releasing low frequency energies and situations and things like that that we're seeing on an individual level. And a lot of these energies are kind of coming through on a galactic level. Now we can measure those solar energies. It's a little bit about what I was talking about last message with the KP index, and we can measure the Schumann resonance and other things like that. But when it comes to the galactics, right, we feel them. Okay, you're going to probably know that we're receiving more of these energies during like galactic alignments like today's Pleiadian gateway and things like that too. So at times when we're receiving a lot of energy, I feel it's affecting things on the planet on a really, really big level, and we're all feeling it. Most notably, we're waking up. The spiritual awakening, feeling guided to heal and like better yourself and let go of things that have been bothering you for a really, really long time. It's all about integrating these galactic energies so that we can adapt to them and continue living on planet Earth, right? So we're having to go through some adjustment. We're having to kind of recode our energy. I always talk about going from our 3D asleep version of self, which is literally not that pretty. It's literally how we look living out of alignment, and getting into a better or a higher energetic alignment and shifting into this 5D version of ourself, which is much more enlightened, much more reflective of the higher self. Like when we were asleep, it's lower self central, and all the ways that your lower self or your egoic self was kind of going through this struggle. And as we wake up, we can really shift into and working towards, it's not like an overnight process, working towards really embodying that and bringing that higher version of ourself down into the physical. You're someone that's probably feeling some of these energetic shifts or even galactic energies as they're coming into the planet. This is a good thing. We want to be making these energies work with us or for us, we'll say. Let's do Vicky Lou, taking chances. And I love this. This is like my roll the dice message, and you're betting on yourself finally. You're needing to really, really, maybe it depends on how you're taking this message, put yourself first, work on your own healing, get into alignment. And maybe you're being guided to like change something in your life, but you're not sure. This is the unknown energy that we have to navigate with awakening. It might be like you're being called on a different path or a new path, or called out of a situation that's getting old or stagnant in your life. Everything starts out great, I like to believe, or we wouldn't go into it, but after a while things can get outdated. It might reflect a situation, a connection, people in your life. They might be more reflective of who you were than who you're becoming. So we have to continue to kind of travel through this journey. Maybe you're being guided to make a change in your life, and this might be a little bit like you're not sure. One of the biggest changes we make is ascension, right, in that process. But it could be like, actually, I see a lot of people having to make some changes in your life, and this could be gradual work, but it could be something that you're facing now, coming up now, that the universe wants you to work through. It could be simply shifting out of an old pattern or an old situation that might be kind of holding you back. Let's do Jen Boom. Okay, so crystalline grids. And I love this because we have this energetic system, we call it the grid, right, through the planet. And this is exactly why we see all of these sacred sites, whether it's Stonehenge or the pyramids of Giza, built on these ley line areas to harness the energy. The ancients knew what they were doing, okay? So they're centered right on there to help with that collective grid and things like that. So a lot of energy flowing into the planet, hitting the earth and activating the grid. The earth grid goes very active certain times a year. We see it even kind of quiets down certain times a year and then kind of becomes a little bit more active, a little bit like during different seasons and things like that. That grid is going so active during our time. And this is why a lot of people actually talk about a 3D Earth and a 5D New Earth, okay? And it depends, because there's different versions of reality playing out, and based on where you're at in life, I think what's becoming more apparent, it's almost like people are living in different versions of reality, if you didn't notice. Like one person could be like having all this going on, and another, trust me, they're not phased. So we want to be, I always talk about being plugged in and connected to the new earth and the 5D New Earth, and having to do the work required, the self-work and the healing work, to kind of shift into these higher timelines and higher realities. This is an amazing time if you're being guided to shift to a higher timeline. We can do this through manifestation. You want something, it could be a manifestation, whatever it is, something tangible, something physical, or it could literally be living in a higher timeline reality. When someone wants something and they don't have it yet, whether it's like a relationship, something you're manifesting, whatever it is, it exists on a higher timeline. We like to think we're materializing an object and bringing it in, but we're actually sliding around and shifting two different versions of reality. We can see that collectively. I talk about the past couple of years, like that's becoming apparent, right? Like we're sliding around the different universes and different probabilities and different realities. And we call this quantum leaping. So if there's something that you're envisioning, and that's the best way to manifest, that you begin to visualize it, you envision it. It could be the life you want to live, something you're trying to manifest, and it usually exists on a higher timeline. You can change your frequency to shift to these higher versions of reality and begin to live what you're trying to experience. And we call this quantum leaping. We're always making these quantum leaps all of the time anyways, based on choices we're making and our vibration and different things like that. So we want to learn how to do this intentionally. We can best do this by working with our thoughts and what we're trying to manifest to experience different versions of reality. So you're being guided to really, really work with the energies of the third eye and work on where you're shifting to or where you're wanting to shift to. As we wake up, we get much more in control of that and can kind of better do this. So you change your thoughts around a situation, it actually changes your outcome and what you will experience. Let's do Gregory Bacon. Light technology, and I love this too because we're learning a lot about we'll say galactic tech and things like that, whether it's working with different energies, plasma energies coming into the planet and things like that. We talk about this a lot. Some of you guys are in your dream state. You might be having experiences. This is going to get into a weird conversation. You might be having experiences with extraterrestrials or ETs or aliens. This might be coming through first in the dreams. Some of you guys are having this come through here in the physical through your guidance system. And some of you guys know that. Some of you guys have had a spiritual awakening and you've tapped in that you're a starseed or what type of starseed you are, and that you're being guided by the galactics or taught, or you're getting downloads from them. Some of you guys, it's coming through in the dreams first, where you might have dreams that you're on ships or you're experiencing different tech, like literally like healing beds, med bed tech. Some of you guys are like actually bringing that back here into the physical and things like that too. Some of you guys might be seeing ships. We see that huge with 2025, where we're beginning to understand this stuff more, and like there's a lot more like ships being seen and things on a higher dimensional, because in the 3D we were blocked from a lot of stuff. When you're in a 3D version of reality, I call that the matrix, right? You're kind of asleep and you're not as aware. As we are waking up, we're more aware of things, but you're seeing things differently that you can actually be seeing into higher dimensions, because when you're living in a 4 or 5D frequency, you're going to see much more of what actually exists there that is cloaked in the 3D version of reality and stuff like that. So you could have two people side by side. One is a little bit asleep and, on that 3D level. This is why sometimes you guys are seeing that in the relationships or friendships or family. Someone could be really asleep and not able to perceive all of this stuff. It's right here, right? And so as you are shifting into that 5D level of like being, you're able to perceive and kind of see a lot more of what is right there. Let's do Tiffany. Good morning. Okay, so we're going to do Star Family, and a lot of you guys are really, really connecting with your soul group right now. Other star seeds, other awakened souls, healers that are kind of more reflective of where you're going. We just talked about that a little bit earlier, where some of the karmic connections in your life, they might reflect your past a little bit more, and it depends on that, right? Like people that you've actually learned within your past are from your past, and they kind of reflect that. Or those past versions of yourself. You're going to find people that reflect much more who you want to become. And this is why it's important that you're surrounding yourself with the right energy if you're trying to level up. So I always talk about, you could be hanging out with people that aren't a good influence on you. And we saw this when you were asleep. You're probably going to rub off on you a little bit, okay? And so the reverse is true, that if you're hanging out with people that are like focused on their growth and elevating and their healing journey and like manifesting, this is going to rub off on you in a really, really positive way. This is why we should not repel where we want to be. We should hang out with people that are encouraging us to that next level, or are maybe on that next level that we can like look up to and like whatever it is. So you're being guided to kind of connect with your soul family, your star family. This is star seed stuff that some of you guys are finding these connections, and you know what, you're vibing with these people a lot more than, I'm not always trying to make like digs, but like you might feel more of a resonance with your family and people that you were really close to for a really long time. Not saying that these connections aren't great or anything, but you might find more of a resonance as you are changing your frequency and really, really getting in attunement with yourself and in alignment with yourself. You might find people that you really, really vibe with and like you feel more comfortable with. As you're going through your awakening, you're going to find your people. You're going to find other star seeds. Let's do Lisa. Star royalty. I love this because it's got, of course, my favorite, the DNA stuff on it. You have so much stuff in your DNA. They called it garbage. Sorry, right? We just don't know how to code this, right? Okay. Anyways, we don't know how to code this. It's just garbage. Okay, I'm sure God just threw a bunch of garbage in our DNA, but okay, yeah. So your DNA, you're beginning to have a better understanding of just how complex it is. So you could say maybe we got some not so desirable traits from your family. I'm not talking about like your eye color and things like that. I'm talking about a lot of stuff that travels through, whether this is illness or addiction and things like that. You might be a little bit more susceptible, but we know that actually different things are going to actually turn on those negative factors in our DNA. Stress and, bad relationships and, toxins and things like that. They can activate the negative things. So it wasn't like, okay, my mom had X, Y, and Z, I'm going to have X, Y, and Z. Like we were taught. Okay, we were taught that within the medical system, but we're more susceptible to it because it's our DNA. And, if we keep on living the same karmic cycles, yeah, we could end up with that. But there's that 98% that's untapped then in our DNA, that 2%, we know a little bit about it, right? That 98% contains your blueprint, your spiritual software, your spiritual gifts, things like telekinesis, remote viewing, like all of this amazing stuff that we can learn how to tap into, astral travel. I'll go on and on with that list. As we're learning to activate that, we're activating many 5D gifts and abilities, telepathy, right? Energetic awareness, and all of these amazing things that were hidden from us. Don't tell me they didn't know about all this stuff, right? That were hidden from us behind the scenes so that we would not tap into that and become our higher version of self, because we're only playing out that or living in that two strands. That's where humanity was for a really long time. We have a lot of good debates on how humanity got there. Anunnaki, right? Dumping us down, switching off our DNA. All of this stuff, literally, that I see modern day happening in the background, all this weaponized stuff, is to target your DNA and to keep you on those two strands. There's literally billions of dollars that have been spent to suppress you, like on every level. Now, if we could activate that 98% of our DNA, oh my God, you could literally probably walk through walls and like do all of this stuff. So they love to keep us this limited 3D version of ourselves. When we begin to heal our trauma, which is the biggest block, not to mention our karma that's encoded within our DNA, we can get past that level, we can activate our DNA. So I feel that's why people wake up in divine timing. You could sit and talk to, I always make example, your family member till they're blue in the face. They're not going to wake up till they're ready, because we have to clear certain energies in our life and deal with certain traumas and karmas and things like that. When we can do that, we can begin to activate our DNA. This is why I do so much DNA activation work on my website. It's one of my favorite things. At the minimum, you guys should have all come to my website and done that 12-strand activation. You can keep going up. Like on my site, I do 12 and then we do 24 and we keep going. So you want to do that DNA activation work. This is going to help you so much intuitively and really, really tapping into your spiritual gifts. And many people are on that, and it's okay. We're living in a world designed for that 3D version of reality. But a lot of people have yet to activate their spiritual gifts and abilities, even though they're there and they're dormant for many people too. So this is a message about working on your DNA and bringing it back online. Yes, we were born with it kind of offline. Okay, Jen Bloom. the mothership. And I love this because we're having lots of conversations about that now. But many of you guys, you didn't come here alone. I was explaining this to someone. They gave me an email and they said, is a spaceship, and I've heard this so many times, you would die at my job. Is a spaceship coming to pick me up? Are they taking me home already? These are serious people. I'm like, no, we are here to stay on Earth. After you leave this place, you will go back to your home planet. And a lot of you guys feel that. A lot of you guys might feel alienated. You didn't fit in certain places. You might have felt alone at times. You might have felt misunderstood. You might have been told to dial down your energy and your frequency to kind of fit in that 3D box, because a lot of you guys as children were very, very high frequency, by the way. You had a lot of energy, and even as young adults, you were powerful manifestors. And if you look back, you can see that, and you're probably a little better at it. It's through all of the stuff that we've picked up along the way that sometimes it can kind of block us up and stuff like that. And a lot of you guys are being told like you're too much, like you're in this 5D level and kind of came to the planet on a higher level, and you're being told, you know, you need to dumb yourself down. You need to fit in this 3D matrix box. You need to do what everyone else is doing. And you know what? Your soul was not built for that. You're built for so much more, especially if you're a starseed. You're here to do things differently, and a lot of people don't like that. I see a lot of starseeds come into their jobs and can see the big picture and have ideas, and I'm like, people do not always like that. They don't want to hear that. They're looking for people that'll like do what they're told and like all of this stuff. You are a visionary. You are psychic. You're a visionary. You can see the big picture, but you might have struggled here because of that too, that this can be a challenging planet as we're kind of bringing that through. So, sorry, the costume, like dumping it. Okay, so you might be having a galactic communication, why we want to talk about this too. And sometimes it doesn't just come like overnight where you're seeing ETs in your bedroom or you'd have a heart attack. Sometimes it's coming more subtle through your intuition and what you're being guided to do and how you're being guided on your path or the work that you're doing. So when I look at a starseed soul, most notably, you might look at other people and be like, my life looks a little different. You might have been going through like more karmic cycles, wake up energy. You might have taken on more trauma. You might have, had challenging connections and relationships and, might not have been seen fully or whatever it is. So a lot of times starseeds have a little bit of a different path, and you've been basically sitting, well, I don't want to say sitting, you've been on planet Earth waiting for this energy to come in. And so while you may have had more of a challenging time while you were asleep going through these dense cycles and energies, you should be feeling a lot better. And as we're in these higher frequency energies, it is helping the starseeds here on planet Earth to shake off the trauma energies, the karma energies, the things that have been kind of blocking us up too. So a lot of you guys, and this is for everyone that resonates with being a starseed, it'll really help you to go into where you come from and your origin, because this is going to help you a lot with what starseed or galactic groups that you're connected with. And it's probably going to bring the puzzle pieces together, and it will help you to better understand yourself, your spiritual gifts, and your soul gifts. And I do have starseed reading on my website where I love to go into that for you if you're needing help with it. It'll tell you a little, not all of them of course, because we don't bring all of our past lives with us, but it'll give you a glimpse into some of the past lives that you may have had in other galactic places. So if you're getting downloads, sometimes it doesn't happen like full on. It takes a little bit to integrate it. So some of you guys, maybe you were born really psychic and you know that. Even if you were, it's going to come on stronger with these energies as you're doing that development work. Some of you guys, you might not have resonated with that. And it's like, as you're going through this ascension process, those gifts are coming online more and more strong so that you can integrate it. And you might even know that, like after a little while, like when you're asleep, you're like, aliens, what? I just wasn't into that. And now that you're awake, like, yeah, I'm getting alien messages. I'm getting galactic messages and downloads and a lot of information, and they're teaching me and they're helping me to heal. Maybe some of you guys helping, to heal other people. So for you, this is very connected to your gifts. Let's do Sam Beadle. Okay, we're gonna do Dream Time. And I love it. It's like a mandala, but it reminds me of a dandelion. Okay, so let's do Dream Time. We talked a little bit about a lot of messages come through in the dreams because it is another, let's just call it another layer of reality. It's very connected with the subconscious. So when we're conscious, our biggest block is our ego. It loves to talk us out of things. Like, I don't have to do that. I'm a good lady. Okay, but our ego sometimes can hide, okay? It's usually okay till we get stirred up, triggered. Oh my God, I deal with people triggered. Like they're fine, they're going great, everything's, love and light. Okay. Then they go through a challenge in life, and it is that, yep. I don't want to call it the shadow because it's different. It is this stuff that comes up when you are uncomfortable. And I'm not going to go too into this, but we are going through a huge transformation. Welcome to Samain, spiritual, Scorpio season, spiritual season, I almost called it. Okay, welcome to this time of year. We're here for transformation. Now, the problem is we need to go a little deeper. And when we try to go there, the ego comes up, okay? And that's the fear. It's like your spirit guides are trying to push you past this threshold, right? Here is like a sleep reality, awake reality. It's trying to take you deeper, okay? And the ego layers come up. So sometimes we have to heal many hidden layers of fear, suppressed emotions, and things kind of going on with that. Now, why the dream time, a lot more stuff begins to happen there, which reflects our spiritual awakening journey, is because the ego is asleep. I don't want to say that, right? You're there without the ego. And so this is where sometimes you might be having dreams, hopefully everyone. You might be having dreams that can be quite psychic in nature. Like if you're in a situation, I always say, in your everyday life and you're not seeing it, you're not getting the message, it was coming through, but the ego has been blocking it. You got the message, but you're talking yourself out of it. Like if you're in a situation that's dangerous, not good for you, you need to shift something, you're going to begin to probably have sleep problems and see it in your dreams or something like that. On a more positive note, we talked about a lot of extraterrestrial communication, spirit communication coming through. So speaking of Samhain, if I have a loved one in spirit visiting me, I'm going to get messages psychically. Most of the time downloads, I'm going to feel it. I feel the spirit energy crazy right now, right? You're going to feel it like through your body. So it's more of, maybe some people see dead people. I'm not saying that, but oftentimes when we're in the physical experience, we need to buffer that. Like I can't be driving my car and seeing dead people everywhere generally. And so sometimes it's like we're a little bit cut off from this stuff. You're going to feel things more here. Now, when you're asleep, you're going to be able to see your loved ones when they visit you. A lot of you might have had like a past loved one and you actually dream and you're able to get the message more clear because once again, ego and some of the blocks while we're awake. This is how it goes with the galactic stuff, where some of you guys are actually being prepped for like more of a disclosure of what's actually going on here. Because you've been asleep for a really long time, if the aliens are in your bedroom suddenly or beaming you up like they actually do behind the scenes, by the way, it's probably going to scare you. And so this is something that's going to happen gradually. You might, start to see videos on the Pleiadians. Hi, right here, this video. You might start to see videos on the Pleiadians or read Pleiadian messages. You start to get downloads. You start to feel things. You start to see things. You start to see ships. It happens gradually, generally, because they do not want to scare you, by the way. That's not the intention. Is to wake you up so you remember where you come from, because it's very connected to your mission and your spiritual purpose. I find that for this person, you might be having some more dreams and astral experiences, and this might be getting more intense or more vivid as you're waking up too. And sometimes I see that with like kids. Like a lot of kids have, let's say, bad dreams. Like I saw a monster over here, like or something over there, and oh, it's not real. It is real, by the way. So as an adult, and you might have been someone as a child that dreamed a lot, this might be coming back online, right? So we're taught it isn't real and not to pay attention to it. It's kind of in the background, but suddenly your dreams are real and that they're very important messages coming through, whether from the subconscious or even meeting with higher beings. So there's a lot going on for you in the dream time. Some of you guys can't sleep again. You're like, I don't know why. Like I always joke about that with the Schumann resonance kind of amping up and things like that. Okay, let's do Lynn Marie. Quantum heart. And so we're doing a lot of work with the heart chakra, and this is like, it's very connected to our electromagnetic field, our aura, and the frequencies that we're putting out. Now it's very connected, I've found, to that source energy flow and things like that too. It's also the center of our chakra system, and so it's really, really important gateway for the higher chakras and even the lower chakras where they kind of meet in the middle and things like that. Now every time that we've gone through I could go on and on with this list. Betrayal, wound, someone wasn't nice to us, unkind, right? Breakup, grief, loss, whatever it was, these many cycles that we've been through, it had a lot to do with the heart chakra and kind of helping us to heal that, but we don't feel like that. We're like, what? I think I just added another block. We're meant to really unblock that center and to open it up on so many levels, and when we can, a lot more of this spiritual light can begin to activate our heart chakra. We have to continue to work on all 7 of our chakras. This is why I think chakra work is so, so important. I actually built my business in the beginning on that principle, and I still feel that way, that doing chakra work is so, so important, and doing the energy clearing work, especially when it comes to the heart chakra and things like that too. So being guided to really, really work with your heart chakra and open it up more. Let's see, Russell Lowe. Transmission. And so I always think of this on the energy level, that we're receiving a lot of these energies too. I do feel on the greater level, they're kind of being broadcasted by the galactics. Our planet was a little bit in crisis, by the way, long before we came here. There was a lot of don't want to go into it, World War II and the wars and, things like that. And we see that during our time as well too, why so many starseeds were sent to the planet to help to anchor this transformation that we're going through. And so this is a card about receiving these Pleiadian energies. We're receiving them anyways, but it helps so we can work with them on a more conscious level of awareness and integrate the healing that's coming through. These energies are amazing for healing your divine feminine side, any karma that you're playing out still, remnants of past karmic cycles that are still affecting you or active in your field. We know something is active in our field if we keep replaying it in our mind. So I find that we've oftentimes been through something traumatic, maybe multiple things traumatic as well too. And so when we have that pop back up, like, oh, this happens a lot for me. Oh, I hope this doesn't happen again. I hope I don't go back there. It's like, or, we might be living a cycle that's familiar and it's a repeated cycle and it can bring up old stuff. And these are things still active in our energy field. And this is why we have to heal our energy field as well too. And it's different as to what everyone's kind of going through. So oftentimes we maybe pick up from the planet or came to the planet with some type of karmic agreements that we made, that we would go through certain karmic experiences so that we could clear these lessons, whether for ourselves or for the collective. And I feel starseeds come here and take on a little slice of the pie of the karma for the planet to help collectively. A lot of people were stuck in karmic cycles in your family line and couldn't get out of them, and you came here and agreed to take on certain lessons. This is supposed to help you to evolve and help you to heal certain things within yourself too. So this is a card about kind of working with these Pleiadian energies to heal and release anything karmically that still needs to go. Now, how do we know? Stuff going on in your life currently, especially if you're still trying to work through things and move through things. Sometimes we've made a little bit of a karmic mess when we were asleep, okay? And it takes us a little while to heal certain patterns or to straighten out things or to have still things kind of going on. It just depends on what that is in your life. Look at the pieces of your life. It's going to teach you a lot about your lessons and what you came here to heal as well too. Sometimes when we look at the struggles or the different cycles or things that we've been through, it'll give us great insight into what we're here to heal. We want to use these Pleiadian energies. I'm going to get off here now, but I'm going to go be doing activations with these energies, like I said. So they're amazing for doing energy work and tapping into them. There's a lot of Pleiadian light coming into the planet right now, and we can really, really work with those energies. So you're being guided to work with the Pleiadian energies on some type of level. If you guys are looking for how, I always say doing healings. Have a beautiful day. Happy Samhain in advance, right? Have a beautiful holiday.